my team won second place, which I'm very proud of my group. However, among those 4 players, I was one of them and probably the worst performing player. I kept asking myself whether if I still got it. It's only been 4 years in my chess career, and yet I feel like I'm about to retire. Unfortunately, I lost this game. 1 win to 2 losses. Not a very good start for my NUS Invitationals. So I had to take a reset. I went to eat lunch with my friends, my teammates, had a little bit of a reset because I was so tilted in that previous game and in this game as well. Had to take a breather. And then here came game number 4. I was black in this game. Against Jiahe. An amazing chess player, very good, very fantastic chess player. I mean, all my opponents so far are great chess players, right? Maybe Jordan was a little bit shaky in that game, but I'm pretty sure with enough practice, he got it in the bag. Jiahe is a special one. A lot of people said he's an amazing chess player. He's great. He's a chill guy. But in this game, I felt that he was a little bit inaccurate in this game. I'll show you what I mean. I played c5, and we had a Sicilian defense. I swapped from the Caro-Kann to the Sicilian. Exactly 1 year ago, I played this exact same tournament in 2025, and I was playing the Caro-Kann. Now I'm swapping it up to the Sicilian because it fits more my playstyle. But I went for this e6 Sicilian, and we went for 4 knights. The 4 knight Sicilian, in my opinion, has to be one of the most simplest Sicilians to play. Sicilian by far is like one of the most complex openings out there, but this is one of the more simpler ones. You can start picking it up right away to try. Bishop e3, bishop e4, bishop d3, d5. So you can see this is very sort of positional gameplay. It's not really aggressive by any means. You don't blow your opponent out of the water. It's a little bit more, you slowly build up the advantage, and then once your advantage is huge enough, you steamroll the opponent with tactics. Knight takes c6, b takes c6, and I have a pretty nice center. The only problem I have is this light square bishop, which I will find a way to develop it soon. Bishop d2. So I was obviously threatening d4, so he had to go back. Castles, and bishop to d6. My bishop no longer had a use on b4 because obviously my opponent has already unpinned the knight from the king and the king has castled. So I gave my bishop a new role. I did not want to trade the knight because most of my pawns are on light squares and I'm going to need some piece to be able to control the dark squares alongside my queen here. Bishop g5, sorry. Rook b8, targeting the b2 pawn. Rook e1, and pawn h6 kicking the bishop, g5, and my opponent Jiahe played e5. After the game, we've did some analysis on this move, and we've come to the conclusion that this move was dubious. The reason why it's dubious is because you're giving up a pawn while your own dark square bishop is under attack. It is a nice counter-attacking idea, but it doesn't work because I can actually just take your bishop first. And when you take either one of my pieces, either the pawn or either the knight or the bishop, I win a pawn. I'm up a pawn, right? So that move was a little bit dubious. Queen to g4, and the way I defended myself was just to try and queen trade with him. Because I know that if Jiahe decides to trade queens with me, not only my pawn structure will get fixed, I'm just simply up a pawn. With less pieces on the board, it's going to be easier for me to convert, right? You're up in material, you trade away all counterplay, you're just almost basically guaranteed to win. So that's what happened in the game, right? Queen d4, Jiahe tries to not trade queens with me, I harass the queen, and now we have this queen trade. Instead of me taking him, I decided, hey Jiahe, I want you to trade with me on my own terms, f5. Right, and if he were to trade with me, I have this insane Great Wall of China. Like, look at this. 6 freaking pawns just pushing towards the king. How insane is that? So we had queen takes g5, h takes g5, and let me just show you from Jiahe's perspective. Imagine if you were playing white here. What the hell is this position? What the hell is this position for black? It's 6 freaking pawns trying to open up the king, right? And this b2 pawn is about to fall. Too many threats in the position. It's way too annoying. So we had knight d1, Jiahe's best attempt at trying to defend himself. And now e4, the pawns are slowly steamrolling into his position. f3, right? I could have played g4 and that would have made my attack even stronger. I mean, 4 of the pawns, along with these 2 very active bishops and a rook on f8, and this rook on b7 is ready to swing over to g7 and harass the king, is just basically over, okay? But instead we got f3, g takes, and I mean, look at this. Look at this absolute anaconda bind in white's position. We are strangling him. Knight e3, and now d4, kicking the knight away. Jiahe does a very nice counter-attacking defensive idea, bishop f1. I simply just took. I was like, screw my light square bishop, I don't need it. E takes f2. Now, e takes f2 is fine, but the more devastating way to win for sure was undoubtedly e2. Oh my days! Look at this position. The light square bishop is trapped. It is trapped, my friends. The next move is g4 and is unstoppable. You cannot stop g4. So, but we took this pawn. It's still fine. And then now g4. And the idea is that if you slide back your light square bishop, let's say to here, bishop c5, and now you have to give up your rook. And instead of taking the rook, I don't even have to take. I can play rook e8. I can play rook e8 and win your full rook. I don't have to do anything. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But here we had bishop takes g4. Best move by Jiahe. And he tried to get some counterplay going on here. But eventually, we've traded pieces. And I did not record all the way because, again, my time was starting to run out, as well as his, but I eventually won this game, right? Through h3, moving my king all the way to the other side, getting my rook active, and somehow winning all these pawns, made a queen, and he resigned, right? We're just up a bishop here. Feel free, for those out there who's watching right now, I want you to practice this endgame, both sides, with black and white, and just practice converting up a piece, because many times people blunder these types of endgames, these types of positions. So I want you to minimize that risk and practice this position at home. Okay? Right. After that positional masterclass by your boy JK Jax, we have one of the worst games I have played in my entire chess career. I know my opponent is strong, but this game was absolutely horrendous. What was I doing? It felt like Martin from chess.com came down from the heavens and possessed my soul, because what the fuck was this game? It was stupid. e4, we have a Sicilian, and it was an Alapin. So knight c3, and so far I was playing fine. I was playing completely normal moves until e6. e6 was a weird move. I could have just played knight c6. No need to overthink here. But e6, c takes, knight c6, bishop c4, and what the hell is this move? Guys, there was literally, I kid you not, knight b6. At least this move makes more sense. What is this? What the hell is this move? I'm allowing my opponent to go d5 and spread my butt cheeks open and then slide his rook into my open file. What the f is this? It's such a horrendous move. Knight c3, knight f5, another blunder, and now d5. He finally found that penetration that broke my butthole open. What the fuck is this? d5, e takes d5, And now I'm just straight up losing. In fact, by move 9, white is plus 3.5. He can play this move. Queen takes d5 and I'm done. It is over for me. There is checkmate in 1. I have to defend with the queen. Only move. And all my opponent had to do was castle and bishop g5 is coming. It is over. It is over that fast. Let me just show you. Even h6, a futile attempt at trying to save your position. You trap your knight. Your knight is trapped. Your knight is absolutely trapped. It's gone. Right? It's gone for good. So bad that I had to sneeze. But let's say if you still want to save your knight, if you were to save your knight here, bishop g5. It's over. It is over. You try to save your queen. Let's say you go for the queen trade. And ladies and gentlemen, knight b5 is threatening checkmate in 1. Game over. Just like that. But my opponent took a safer approach. Played knight takes d5. And slowly but surely, even though my position was bad, I slowly managed to get back equality. I achieved stability in my position, which was okay. But I felt that this game was pretty bad because it wasn't like me. Yes, I did manage to make a game into a draw. Great. But it felt like I was playing a game that wasn't who I am. I was known for being attacking, aggressive, tactical. But this game felt like I was playing haram ball. It felt like instead of PSG, I was playing as Arsenal. I was just trying to play like a super defensive game for absolutely no reason. I don't know why I'm playing like this. Right. Bishop takes e5. Yes, I did achieve stability and equality, but bro, it's not who I am. Right. Rook ae1. And now knight d4. So now the Martin strikes again. The Martin from chess.com. Queen here. Knight to c6. And ladies and gentlemen, in this position, Myron sacrifice the rook! Rook takes e6. Sacrificing the rook. The idea is that after I take kaboom bing bang bop, the queen is gone. It's gone. And by the way, if I moved my king, there was checkmate in 1. Oh my stars. Fantastic move by Myron. I took the knight, he takes my queen, and yeah, I just gave up. Over here, I was super devastated. I was looking at the chessboard and I was contemplating what I was doing with my life. It was just that bad. This game was so bad, I had to take a timeout and think, what am I doing here? Why am I in Team A? And what the fuck was that game? So many questions, but so little time. I had to focus on the next game. Right, game 6. It's the last game I'm gonna be covering for today's video. And yeah, I hope you guys been enjoying this whole journey, this whole ride so far, because damn, this was very interesting. Alright, so let's get right into it. e4, e6, d4, d5, e5, c5, blah 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 blah. We have a French defense. Nothing going on. This is all theory. Bishop e3, and here Elkan played the move pawn to d4. I've studied this before and I've shown it in my YouTube video. For those of you guys who did not watch the French defense video, please watch it after this one. Okay? I will teach you everything you need to know about the advance. Almost everything. I'm gonna be making more follow-up videos if you need me to spread more wisdom and knowledge on how to play against the French. d4. And I've studied this line. Knight takes d4. A brilliant move. This is theory. This is all theory. The reason why this is theory because you sacrifice a knight, but then you have this move queen to g4, which attacks the pinned piece. So this is completely theory, right? The best move is bishop c2. You play bishop c2 when this dark square bishop is not developed yet. But you only play queen g4 when the dark square bishop has developed. But you can play queen g4 here. It is PP on the PP after all. you're attacking the pin piece. And the idea is that if you try to defend your bishop, if you try to defend your knight with bishop c5, I win your rook. So you can't play bishop c5. You have to give back the knight. We got h5, and a queen takes d4 was weird. You're immediately removing the tension. What I should have done was maintain the tension with moves like queen f4, and then now in the future I just have to figure out how am I going to add a third attacker on this knight, right? Let's say if I play something like bishop c5 for black, well, you also see that knight e4 is also very good, because even though I'm down a piece, positionally speaking, I'm fantastic here. This is very nice to play for white. There's a lot of holes I can exploit, such as the d6 square, right? I can play moves like rook c1. I have ideas to even sack the rook and then get my knight to d6, which then the king is forced to move this way, and then I can win the queen. So a lot of underlying tactical caveats here, and also this f7 pawn is hit twice. So my knight really loves to be on d6. The only way my opponent can sort of save himself is to play knight e7. And the best move here is to just trade, and bishop takes d4. And here white is doing slightly better. It is not completely crushing, but I would take white over black any time of the day, right? But instead, I immediately ease the tension. Not the best move, not the correct way to go. And slowly but surely, we had this very, very drawish position. Bishop c7, castles, knight here, here, and back. And here in this position, I actually missed a tactic. I traded the bishop for the bishop, which is still winning for white. But what I could have played was rook takes c6, sacrificing the rook. But the idea is that after you take, I'm up a pawn, right? Right, I can sacrifice my rook here. And after you take me with either the pawn or the bishop, I will be up 2 pieces for a rook, which is winning for me, right? And now, because of the new dark square weaknesses, I can probably exploit it using my knights, using my bishop, with moves like this, this, or this. I can bring my rook to c1, and a lot of cool stuff happens, right? But instead, we get bishop e7, and then I took, which is still okay. I got my rook on the c file, which is fantastic, and I went knight d6. This was a step in the wrong direction. Over here, I already had a winning tactic, knight to c5. Why did I not see this move? It is just a simple tactic. It just wins me a full piece. So I was super flabbergasted why I decided to play more positionally than tactically. And then that's where I realized my mind is not in the right headspace. I was so focused on the positional aspect of the game that I completely forgot about my tactics. My strong point, my tactics. So I just knew that today and this tournament was not for me. This tournament was not it for me, right? So this is what happens when you had to sacrifice your chess to get your workload done, to get your schoolwork done. It just hurts. But once you get the schoolwork over and you come back to play chess, you'll feel super, super amazing. Knowing that you've prioritized the more important things, and then you come back to chess and then you feel absolutely like a beast, okay? But it became a draw, knight d5, rook takes b7, and it was a dead draw, bishop c6. My rook is actually trapped. This light square bishop was the sole reason why I drew this game, because my rook had no escape except b7 and a3. So we had to repeat position. And also this rook is threatening to take this pawn. But I cannot actually take the pawn. Let's say if bishop c6 I were to take, my opponent can sacrifice the rook for the knight. And in between move, then what I would have to do, sack the rook back and then take. But I've given my only material advantage back. But then, this pawn is very easy to target. I mean, first of all, you can move your king to defend the pawn, and then soon after you win my pawn. So Elkan will be up a pawn instead. So me and him repeated positions, and then we analyzed the game together. And we came to a conclusion that You know, it was a draw. There was no way out. But we didn't analyze all the tactical skirmishes, such as rook takes c6 over here, or even the simple fine knight c5. I can't believe I missed that move. But Elkan is my good friend. We've played each other before in SP. No, it was InterVarsity Chess League. That was a completely different tournament that happened way earlier this year when I was still, still sort of into chess. Now I'm slowly regaining back my passion, right? But yeah, I would say that this tournament has been, even though I didn't perform very well, it has been an enriching one for me. Even though I didn't have the best chess tournament, I learned a lot. It helped me rediscover who I am. It helped me rediscover who I was before I stopped playing. And this was a tournament I really needed. Even though everyone has been saying, oh, you got carried by your team. Sure. This is what a team tournament is supposed to do. You're supposed to make up for your teammates' shortcomings and shortfalls. Right? If your teammate is having a bad day, a bad tournament, make it up. It will mean a lot to them. And yes, it feels like that second place medal was completely undeserved to me. Yes, I feel that my team has carried me. But in the future, I'm ready to help them. When there's another team tournament, I can assure you, I will be able to carry my teammates this time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.